Hey, what's up, my fellow Scorpions? This is your monthly forecast for the month of July 2016. Thank you for joining me. Before we get started, I just wanted to remind you guys that this is a general forecast for anyone born under the sun, moon, or rising / ascendant sign of Scorpio. And we are made of more than just one sign usually. So if you want to find out what your moon or rising sign are, for example, because all you know is that you were born in October, November, and that you're a Scorpio. If you would like to see what else makes you a unique person astrologically, then I have left a link or two in the description box that will lead you to a website where you can pull up your free birth chart and find out, and then see what other monthly horoscopes you need to look at besides Scorpio. And also, if you would like me to interpret your birth chart, I would be happy to do that. Just send me an email. It's also in the description box, and I will reply and let you know how we can get that scheduled for you. All right, now on to your general July forecast. All right, my fellow Scorpions, I am a Scorpio rising. That's why I say that. So I know this forecast like the back of my hand because I am living it. You know, this is a really, really positive month for us. It's a very lucky month. There are a lot of us that are going to be traveling. And I know, yeah, a lot of people travel during the summer, blah, blah, blah. I know that. But you know what? We Scorpions are really, really focused on that area of life. Travel, broadening our horizons in some sort of way, even if it's not specifically physically traveling somewhere like out of the state or out of the country, but just broadening our horizons. And that includes with career. There are big major things happening for us in both of those areas. So let me tell you in detail what the planetary activity is like and how it's bringing this to our lives right now. So first of all, Scorpio, our ninth house, 9 signs from Scorpio, counting ourselves as the first one, is Cancer. So whenever it's Cancer season, our ninth house is highlighted. What does the ninth house represent? It represents, as I mentioned, travel, long distance travel, broadening your horizons, whatever that means for you. It means also education, learning some new skills that are like major life-changing ones that you can apply to an actual career or life purpose. It is actually looking at your life from a higher point of view and having a mindset of achieving the highest goals that you can achieve in life and serving your life's purpose. Those are definitely the things that are going to be on our mind because the sun is in Cancer until the 22nd of July. This is our ninth house. So the sun shines a big spotlight and flashlight in that area of life wherever it's traveling. So we're going to be seeing things from a clearer point of view and really be focusing on them in regards to all the things I listed that have to do with the ninth house. A lot of people say, yeah, this is also like publishing, marketing yourself, advertising. Yeah, that's part of the ninth house too. I'll just tell you a personal account as a Scorpio of how this is playing out as a fellow Scorpio. Is I am traveling on a business trip this July, and I'm going to an event so that I can connect with people, network, market, hand out my business card, talk to people, try to make some more business connections. And it is a long distance travel. So that's just one example of how our month can go with the sun in the ninth house. There are some Scorpios that are going to be looking at furthering their education, whether it be going back to school, finishing school, starting school for the first time, but just something to further your skills that you can apply to your career. Venus will be in the ninth house in Cancer until the 12th of July. Wherever Venus travels is where we will be enjoying ourselves in that kind of a way of wherever it's at. So if it's in our ninth house, yes, enjoying travel is one of the biggest things on our list right now. Or you know what? The ninth house is anything that's foreign to us. So maybe if you gain a love interest, it could be someone who is foreign, ooh la la, like maybe from another country, maybe from just a different background than you are. That's very much a possibility this month. Also, enjoying things that are new and adventurous to you because the ninth house is all about adventure, life's adventures, not just doing the everyday mundane things and seeing your little day-to-day world. It's seeing what else is beyond there out in this world and this entire planet that we live on, maybe even the galaxy for those of us that are a little bit more out there, if you know what I mean, but just focusing here on Earth. For us Scorpions, yeah, our minds are going to be wanting to expand and experience new things, enjoyable things. Like maybe even if you're a Scorpio who doesn't really get out much, you don't really care about traveling and getting out, it can be that maybe you just expand your mind and broaden your horizons by reading some really big books, like more educational books or nonfiction books. So that's like expanding your knowledge, but also something you might actually enjoy. And also just enjoying anything that's foreign, like going to festivals, going to cultural centers, enjoying some foreign foods is really good at this time because Venus does rule food and the five senses. Just anything that is new and exciting and gives you that like, oh my gosh, like I'm doing something so adventurous, even if the adventurousness is just going to Target and buying like a painting of something from far away from another country, or a decorative piece for your home that's like from a foreign country. I mean, it can be so mundane as something that small, but definitely enjoying things that are different, fresh, new, exciting, and adventurous during this time. So Mercury is in Cancer in our ninth house until the 13th of July. Wherever Mercury travels is where our mind is going to be focusing on things. It's our thinking processes. It's our communication. It's how we communicate. And it's also like the skills of the hands. And when it's in the ninth house of broadening horizons, we are definitely going to be focused on broadening horizons. Reading a lot, researching, maybe even taking up a class during this time on something that we are interested in, some sort of talent that we have that maybe we want to turn into like a business venture, something that we can do that's part of our life purpose, and just expanding our knowledge in that area. Our mind can be on vacationing and just enjoying life. And you know what? Also, I find that the ninth house, since it's a similar energy to Jupiter, and also the ninth sign on the regular zodiac wheel, which is Sagittarius. And it's that feeling and thinking process of, you know what, everything is awesome. And you might be using the word awesome a lot during this time, or you might be just really having more of the ability to see a brighter day. That's really the energy of the ninth house as well, as optimism. Is when a negative situation comes about, you have that mindset that's kind of like that cheesy saying of, when life hands you lemons, you turn it into lemonade. Yeah, it is kind of that mindset. You just turn it into something positive. You see what the lesson is that you learned in whatever the experience was that was negative or unfavorable in some sort of way. Turn it into a positive and be like, you know what, it's okay because, at least we have this. Or like, say for instance, someone lost their job, and you can just be like, you know what, well, you lost your job, but at least you still have a home. At least you still have family to back you up and to help you out. At least you still have this, that, or the other. At least you are still breathing here on earth. It's that mindset. So you may be able to turn things into more positive if challenges are presented in front of you. So that is just a little brief description of Mercury in your ninth house. And this is going on once again until the 13th of July. On July 4th, there is a new moon in Cancer in your ninth house. So this is when the sun and moon come together to birth something brand new, okay, or a new beginning somewhere. It is the sun, which is paternal energy. The moon is maternal. They come together in the same sign and the same degree. And they're like, here, we're giving you a clean slate, a fresh start, or a new beginning somewhere with something, okay? So in the ninth house, maybe some Scorpios got accepted into a school to further their education. Maybe some Scorpios they made travel plans, and finally the travel plans fall through and they take that trip. Goal that you've been wanting to achieve for a long time, and finally something just comes to light and to the surface that lets you know how you can achieve it, and that it is actually possible, because the ninth house is all about seeing things as being possible where others see them as impossible. It's the energy of the archer that just shoots its arrow. Wherever the arrow goes, it's like, that's where I'm going to go. So you have something new, a new beginning that happens in those regards. Now also, this new moon is opposite Pluto, and Pluto is in your third house of the mind, of your communication. Pluto is a very transformative planet. The energy that it gives is very intense. And so the way that you have been communicating, Scorpios, we're already very intense with the way we communicate, just generally speaking about the energy of Scorpio. And Pluto is one of our ruling planets, so it gives us our traits, our very deep personality traits. So the way that we've been speaking and the way that our mind is working these days until 2023 when Pluto moves into Aquarius, it's going to be in our third house and of thinking, and it's very much more deep, much more serious. It's much more calculating. It's much more, you know what, I'm going to look before I leap and be cautious of things. So with the new moon in opposition to Pluto, something is definitely going to transform in ways of, you know, our higher minded goals. And maybe this, if we take a trip, it can be something that really transforms our lives in some sort of way. That's one possibility. Or whatever we decide to do to further our education, further our skills, is going to be very transformative and really make a big impact on our lives. So that is the new moon on July 4th. So towards the middle of July, the energy starts shifting into Leo. And Leo is 10 signs from Scorpio. That is our 10th house that rules career. Shining out there into the world, having a public image, having people see us in a public light. So that's pretty much what it is. It's career, success, being seen in a public light. And we have Venus going there on the 12th. Venus going into the 10th house. This means that, you know, Venus represents not just enjoyment and relationships, but female figures, feminine figures. Or if it's a male that's involved in like feminine and Venusian types of work or activities like art, dancing, music, for example, maybe even the beauty industry. And, or it can just be a female figure in general. This is a time where a feminine person, a Venusian person, can really help boost you into the spotlight in your career. So this is an excellent time to partner up with someone that is, you know, fits that description. If you are looking to be seen on a broader scale, you know, in regards to your career. This is also a time of enjoyment of life in a very 10th house and Leo regal type of way, where you really feel like you are the top dog, you are the top business person, and you are just like looking at those name brand items a little bit more, Scorpio. Perhaps that can be happening, and just feeling like living the good life, living life and enjoying life like a successful person. If you're a Scorpio that is owning your own business or looking to, this is a time where you really do something to enjoy yourself like a boss, like someone who really is already at that peak level of success and at the top. So I would say with Saturn being in your second house of money, okay, finances, earned income, and it's going retrograde, be mindful of your spending. Yes, but if you do have some money set to the side to really enjoy yourself in that, you know, regal top boss type of way, definitely do that and enjoy yourself, because especially if you're trying to be very successful in a business or in a career, they say that if you really want to be successful, you will dress that part even if you don't have it yet. Like if you are trying to be like a CEO, dress like a CEO and walk like a CEO, have the aura, the air of a CEO, and eventually you will end up living out that role, you know, in real life. So it's like if you act like it and think about it, you will become. As long as you don't go overboard and mess up your finances, and because you don't want Saturn to slap you on the hand and be like, bad Scorpio, you're not supposed to be spending all this money on name brand stuff and $800 purses and a crown with all these like jewels on it. You're not supposed to be spending it like that at this time. But yes, definitely enjoy yourself like a boss, Scorpio. Mercury moves into the 10th house of career in the sign of Leo on the 13th of July. Now, this is a time where your mind is going to be on big business, okay? Big goals. You may have been like planning goals and like shooting that arrow out there, you know, when the 9th house energy was activated previous to this, and really thinking about them and maybe planning some things out. But now is the time to put them into action. Are you really trying to do some big things and make some big moves when it comes to career? Well, Mercury is going to help you to do that and to manage that, because it's also the energy of a manager, an organizer. You know, Mercury is the skills of the hands and actually thinking about things and getting them in order. So with it being in Leo, a very leadership-oriented sign, and in your 10th house of career, the highest point in career and in life that you can get, It's all about big business right now, Scorpio. It really is. So managing your business, putting those ideas into action. And if you are not a business owner, but you actually just work for someone or work for a corporation or a company, they're going to be a little bit more demanding on you at this time because Mercury keeps you busy. It's a busybody energy. So your boss figures, you may be getting along with them a little bit better at this time, but you're going to be in high demand. Okay. They're going to like really be keeping you busy. So just be mindful of that and do your best to keep up without putting your hand into too many different things at one time. But yes, definitely reach for those higher goals and put them into action at this time. So the sun moves into the 10th house in Leo on the 22nd of July. And wherever the sun travels, not only it makes you see things more clearer in that area of life, but people see you in a clearer light, so if you are really trying to advance in career, trying to get promoted, trying to have people see you in more of a public light, if you own your own business, this is a time to put yourself out there. This is a time to ask for a raise, ask for a promotion, or be on your best behavior. Apply for that really top position that you want if you don't already have a job, but like a really like a big position that it may seem like, oh, it's impossible. Like I'll tell you, last year when I had this transit as a Scorpio myself during this time of year, I started applying for those jobs that may have said must have this degree, bachelor's, master. I said, you know what? Forget that. I have experience, okay, that is just as good as someone who has that bachelor's or master, where normally different times of year, if I would have applied for those positions, I would have been like, you know what, I'm not qualified enough. But during 10th house transits, you feel like, hey, I'm qualified enough. You need to see me, okay? So you can still apply for those positions and possibly land something that is excellent, where you are in a higher position, maybe more authority, maybe higher pay, and you're really respected. So you lock that in when the sun is in your 10th and you jump on those types of opportunities, Scorpio. So really, really take advantage of that this month. So Mars continues to be in our sign all through the month of July, but this time it is direct. Hallelujah. Can I get a hallelujah and an amen, Scorpios? So this is good news for us, Scorpio, because when Mars was retrograde, let me tell you, I don't know about you guys, but there's a lot of like repressed anger that we had to hold in. Not just anger, but like we wanted to like just really go after things because it's Mars, it's action, it's drive. It's like you just want to jump and do something right away and get it completed, and go full speed ahead with that tunnel vision that Mars and Scorpio can have. But there was always like, if we did that, it was too much. Either people thought we were too much, or we felt like the energy was just too intense and too much, and we would like fizzle out very quickly, and our actions would not come into fruition as far as achieving what we wanted to achieve, So now that it's forward, no longer retrograde, this is the time. Take action. If you are a Scorpio that's trying to do something like work out, get your body into shape, now it's a more positive time for you this whole month, okay? Because August 2nd, Mars moves back into Sagittarius. So July is ours. It's the last of our run through the sign of Scorpio as far as Mars, to really take advantage of his very powerful energy that is super driven and get those goals achieved and accomplished. There is a full moon happening in the sign of Capricorn at 27 degrees Capricorn. This is on July 19th, and this is in our third house of communication and how the mind operates. Now, full moons bring things to a close or to a final decision. And full moons are when the moon and the sun are in opposite signs, unlike the new moon is them coming together in the same sign. No, they're in opposite signs. So that means that the moon is in your third house, the sun is in your ninth. So there's like an opposition there, and something has to be met in the middle because there's tension. The full moon is like when tension builds and builds and builds, and finally it comes to like a breaking point where it's like something's got to give and a decision has to be made. So this is in regards to your short distance travel, long distance travel, the skills of the mind that are like just quick little skills that you learn, or the ones that are longer lasting and have to do with like achievement of your higher purpose in life. So there will be a decision made in those regards, mainly focused on the third house though. So this full moon is making a square aspect, which is a challenging aspect, but it promotes growth. Okay, just keep that in mind. It's making that square aspect to Uranus, and Uranus is in Aries in your sixth house of the work environment. So the full moon and Uranus are speaking to one another. Uranus is an energy that is very quick changing. This full moon is definitely going to bring about an immediate call to action. So it can bring a change in your work environment. And this may be a good thing for you because with all that 10th house career activity going on, it can be that with the full moon, it triggers something like you wanted to get promoted. You know, you wanted to be in a higher position. And then the full moon triggers Uranus. It's like being, okay, Uranus is in your work environment sector. So your work environment may change in some sort of way. But you know what? Like I said, you have all this positive energy in your 10th house, so I'm sure it'll be something that works out favorable for you. But the full moon in the third, I would say definitely be careful with driving and traveling short distances because Uranus is like, you know, quick, sudden things that are surprising and unexpected that can happen. And the third house is short distance traveling, including driving by car, bicycle, whatever. So be very careful on that day of driving and traveling short distances. But this can definitely trigger maybe like a new way that you communicate, a new way that you commute to work. Okay, maybe it has to do with you get a top position, you get a better job position, right? Your work environment and workplace area changes, which makes you have to go a different route every day, you know, in return, which is the third house, where you drive back and forth to work every day. Or it can be that maybe you get a new car because this is having to do with the material items that you use for short distance travel and communication. So new car, new phone, maybe the full moon is like, you know what, those things are raggedy and not working for you very well anymore. So hey, it's time to get a new one. It's coming to that point. So those are just a few things that can happen with a full moon in the third house. All right, Scorpio. So last but not least, something new I'm doing is I'm going to pull one angel tarot card from a deck after shuffling and asking what it is that is the most important message that Scorpios need to know for July. All right, Scorpio. So after shuffling, I've got a really, really good card for us, and it is so fitting. It amazes me how these cards validate the astrology every month. So we got the Sun card. Yes! Look at that card. So, first of all, the Sun card. You know what the sun represents. It's bright in the sky. It shines. Everybody sees it, right? So this definitely speaks to public recognition. The actual message on the card is happy outcome, brilliant new ideas that lead to success, and have confidence in yourself. So this month, Leo season, when Leo season begins, Leo is a sign of confidence. Leo is represented by the color yellow. You see there is a lot of yellow in the background, yellow and some orange, and orange is the color of the sacral chakra. So orange and yellow are the colors of the chakras that cover confidence and creativity. And there are some sunflowers down there. And when I see sunflowers, I think of Leo type of energy because it is the sun and the sun rules Leo and they're yellow. So there's just so much like confident energy going on to where we're really shining out there. And this goes along with the sun, Mercury, and Venus all being in Leo in our 10th house, like to be seen, you know, really be seen. And this doesn't necessarily mean, oh, we're all going to become famous, Scorpio. No, it just means that people are going to be looking at us in a more positive light in one way or another, whatever type of life we are leading right now. So we may be stepping into those leadership roles, especially because look at the card. There is sunrise. This is when the sun is rising, right? And normally people who were born at sunrise, they have the sun in the first house of their chart. And the sun in the first house people, they, whether or not they were born under the sun in Aries or not, they have an Aries-like quality to them, which is the energy of the self-starter, of the self-initiator, of, you know what I want, I know who I am, I know my life path, and I'm just going to go after it. So the sun rising on here definitely speaks to me to like leadership. And also because Uranus is in Aries and it's making an aspect to our midheaven in Leo. Okay, Aries, Uranus is going to be making a trine, a positive aspect to all the planets in our 10th house in Leo. That means that it can bring about brilliant ideas and rapid thoughts and changes and actions that we do that really shoot us like skyrocketing into success. So the Sun card is all for us this month, Scorpio. Great card. All right, Scorpio. Well, I hope you enjoyed your July forecast. And don't forget to subscribe if you would like to receive these monthly horoscopes from me every single month because I love doing them. And also, if you would like a personal reading, I would love to do one for you. Like I said, just shoot me an email. It's down below in the description box and we can get it set up. All right. Well, enjoy your month. Have a happy, successful month, Scorpio. See you guys in August. Peace.